Hello everyone, and welcome to another Monster Hunter World video. Today we're going to be fighting Tempered Vaal Hazak using nothing but Light Bowguns. I have three powerful builds that should make fighting Tempered Vaal Hazak pretty easy, actually. It's still going to take a while to defeat him, that's why I've learned he has a huge health pool, but no more frustrating losses, which is what I experienced when he came out, and I tried to play with randoms, essentially, right? And oh man, it's like impossible right now to beat Tempered Vaal Hazak with randoms. You are so likely going to lose that match. If you aren't the one dying, almost certainly somebody else will be the one dying. And yeah, so if you're going to fight him, I highly recommend fighting him solo. Now I have a reason for that. I'm going to explain that as we go. I guess one of the first things I want to start out by saying, and I'll say this for any other future Vaal Hazak videos that I release that teach you how to fight him, go in with your Palico and have your Palico bring the Vigor Wasp spray, right? That's the Palico gear. You've got the Vigor Wasp spray, you've got the Orchestra, Choral Orchestra, and then you have the Plunder Blade, right? Well, the Vigor Wasp spray is going to be giving you your health back throughout the entire fight, and I think it's really important. He's a DOT monster, right? And if you got that Vigor Wasp spray coming all the time, you got a Vigor Wasp station just waiting for you to run up and smack it, it actually helps a lot. Also, since you're going to be using a light bowgun, similar to the heavy bowguns, you can actually just stay out of his smoke a lot of the time, his DOT, his effluvia. If he puts it down, just kind of run off to the side, right? Like, come over here, Vaal Hazak. And that's something you really can't do that well when you're playing with a group of people. You all don't coordinate like that unless you've all got mics and you're all friends. But if you're playing with randoms, you can't be like, hey guys, come over here, because nobody will listen to you, nobody will follow you over, and then they'll all die because they're not clever. So yeah, when you're fighting Vaal Hazak with these light bowguns, you're going to get out of the way, you're going to take advantage of these Vigor Wasp stations, and your cat's going to be healing you throughout the fight. That's my first tip. Let's go ahead and take a look at the three guns that I've chosen for fighting Vaal Hazak, and then we'll jump more in depth into the builds. Alright, so the three guns I've chosen are Devil's Madness, Empress Shell Sticks, and Tereth Blitz Shots. Okay, Blitz Shots is going to be a normal ammo build, Sticks is going to be a slice ammo build, and Devil's Madness is going to be a sticky ammo build. So now you know what you're getting into. If you want to jump around the video, you're welcome to do that at this point. Why don't I go ahead and start with Devil's Madness? We'll start talking about the build and what I'm going with. So the very first thing I want to start with is the Fortify skill. Yes, that's right. All of the builds are going to have Fortify. And this is what's so surprising, right? If you go fight Kulve Taroth solo right now, and you die twice, you can actually make yourself so tanky using the Fortify skill that he has much more trouble killing you off on your last life. And that's what's really making fighting him solo stand out from trying to fight him on a group. Because if you fight him on a group and you died twice, you might get fortified to proc twice, but nobody else did. So everyone else is just as weak as they normally would be against him. So fortify and, you know, like an armor skin consumable, eat that, and you're going to have enough tankiness that you can actually survive his moves, right? Like I survived his beam one time. I very distinctly remember that. I thought I was going to be able to use a dive evade. It still hit me, and I was hurt really bad, but I was alive. So yes, fortify proccing twice is kind of a big deal here. It also gives you a boost to damage, which is pretty nice. Now on this build, this is, if you must play multiplayer, this is a pretty decent multiplayer build. Maybe I would get rid of the Fortify decoration in that case, and I would go for full Effluvia resistance. But yeah, you can see I've got Free Element, that's going to give me an extra shot of Sticky Ammo 3. You can see I've got Slugger 3. I got that onto the build using the KO Charm, which I was really impressed. KO Charm gives you 3 levels of Slugger, okay? So that's actually a pretty efficient way of getting it onto the build. But you'll also notice I have 3 levels of Artillery and 2 levels of True Shot or Special Ammo Boost, right? And those are all 5 of those decorations are kind of rare, so if you're really having trouble, I want to say you should definitely prioritize the artillery skill at least. That's going to allow you to get the more damage on your sticky ammo, which is your primary way of dealing damage. Now the other thing I'm pointing out is I have 2 levels of focus. The reason it's not 3 levels is only because I have no focus decorations. That's right, you can play the game for 1400 hours and not get a single level 2 focus decoration. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. If you guys think you're having trouble with decorations, you're not alone, everybody is, right? So if you can get another decoration for focus on, that would be terrific. And that pairs with the special ammo boost. It gives you your Wyvern Blast back sooner, and the special ammo boost allows the Wyvern Blast to deal more damage. So really you've got a mixed source of damage. You've got your sticky ammo level 3, and you've got your Wyvern Blast, which you'll be putting down the whole time. One of the reasons this works so well is because Devil's Madness is one of the highest raw attack value light bowguns in the game, probably only being surpassed by the Tempered Blitz shot, which we have on the list as well. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So yeah, this is my Slugger build. Aim for his head. You're going to cause multiple KOs on him. When he gets KO'd, go up, put the Wyvern Blast down, and melee those Wyvern Blast. And that's going to cause a ton of damage on him. And if you're playing on a team, or maybe you've got a friend with you, you're going to be able to deal tons of damage to him on the knockdown. Your team's really going to appreciate that, which is why I felt like we really should do a build just for Devil's Madness using Sticky, okay? And remember, you're playing with the Light Bowgun, so just take your time, stay away from him. There's no reason you should ever really die. But I know I'm just saying that. I still die. He's very difficult. It just happens sometimes. When you die, you go back to camp, totally heal up, stop by the temp. By the way, all three of these builds use the Farcaster consumable. That's an item. You need to have Farcaster on your build, because if you run out of ammo, you'll just Farcast, jump back, and get more ammo. Or if you're in a very dangerous situation, you can use Farcast instead of rolling. Farcast will get you out of a move that you can't escape, okay? Moving right along, we have the Empress Shell Stick Slice Ammo build, and I think this was technically my fastest run was done with this build solo. You're going to be using Slice Ammo, as you might have guessed, and basically what I've done here is I've maxed my affinity, I've maxed crit boost, I brought free element ammo up so that I get an extra shot of Slice in my clip that gives me more DPS, and then here's what's interesting about the build. I've actually brought the Part Breaker skill. That's right, because when you break Vaal Hazak's parts, he'll actually knock over after you've broken one or two of them. It'll actually give you a knockdown. The other reason you want Part Breaker is because once you've broken his head, he'll actually take more damage on his head. And also you deal the most damage to his tail, which you can quickly cut off for the team, and that actually nerfs his tail whip, if you want to call it that. Is one of his moves. He whips you with his tail. Well, once his tail is missing, it has a lot less range, right? So Part Breaker is actually pairing very well on this build, and one of the reasons I'm able to afford Part Breaker is because the Emperor Shell Sticks is a pretty efficient gun, because it already comes with the Spare Shot skill, right? This is one of the new Lunastra weapons, and the Lunastra weapons came with the Spare Shot skill. You also notice right away, I also do have Fortify on this build. I also do have 2 levels of Effluvia resistance on this build. If you're playing on a team, just get rid of Fortify and put it, get 3 levels of Effluvia resistance. Other than that, that's the whole build. Very straightforward. I recommend setting up your radial menu so that you can craft more Slice ammo as you go. Of course, once again, you'll want to have Farcaster in your item loadout as well, so that if you've run out of Slice ammo, you don't have to just dilly-dally and wait for him to go to the next area. You can just Farcast out of the fight and grab more Slice ammo out of the tent. For the custom mods, in this case, for Slice ammo, we have 2 levels of Reload Assist and 1 level of Recoil Suppressor. You can also augment this gun to have health recovery, but I feel like the health recovery on this gun really isn't going to do as well as the health recovery on Devil's Madness. Maybe it's just ammo types, I don't really know how it works, but Sticky Ammo 3 with health recovery just seems to give you more health back. Finally, we have the Tempered Blitz Shot. So with the Tempered Blitz Shot, this is a weapon that gets to use the Elementalist decoration, and this gives it really high raw. So using the Wyvern Blast is actually really high priority to me. You can see I have, once again, level 3 focus and 2 levels of special ammo boost. I'm getting 2 levels of focus from Damascus Mail Beta. That's an extremely efficient piece of armor for building focus, as well as 1 level of focus from Diablos Neros Braces Beta. Okay, so I'm able to get away with that. I've maxed out my focus, and I brought the 2 levels of special ammo boost just because I have those decorations. Other than that, you'll notice for the charm, I go with the Mighty Charm. This gives me a little more positive affinity. That's going to help out with my normal shots. Of course, I've got the normal shots decoration, and I only need 2 levels of free element ammo up because we're only using normal ammo level 2. So yeah, you only need 2 levels of it to get the extra boost to your clip size. Other than that, you can notice that I do have Effluvia Resistance 3 and Tool Specialist 3. That's just because I had some extra leftover small decoration slots. If you really want to, you can put in 2 levels of of crit I just didn't think it was going to make that big of a difference. You'll notice crit boost is only at level 2. So the reason for that is because my affinity is only going to get up to about 60% if I'm getting headshots, which is really what you should be going for. And with your affinity being that low, instead of building crit boost, I could have actually built more affinity. What I mean is, instead of building crit boost 3, I probably could have just focused on building more affinity, because of basically what the math comes out to, and that's why we build maximum might in this case. And one of the reasons why I'm not able to max out that crit boost, I don't have room for it, is because I built focus onto the build, right? I've got the level 3 focus, and that's kind of eating up my slots, right? So I try to stay as efficient as possible, but it's just not going to come out perfectly, right? And once again, I want to mention the Fortify skill. You'll see it's not on in this case. I would remove 1 miasma jewel, and then I would put the Fortify skill onto the build. You know, if you skipped ahead in the video just to see this one, basically Fortify is very valuable when you're fighting Vaal Hazak solo, because as he kills you, you'll actually become tanky enough. After you've died twice and you've eaten an armor skin, you'll actually become tanky enough to be able to sustain some of his bigger moves and not be one shot. So that's extremely valuable, especially when playing solo. And I'll repeat this since we're at the end of talking about the builds as well, in case you missed this. The Palico gear, go with the Vigor Wasp spray so that you can continually heal throughout the fight, because Vaal Hazak does DOT damage. You're going to be constantly losing health, and that Vigor Wasp spray is really going to help counter that. Okay, that is everything I have to say about the builds. Let me just mention that you should have your ammo setups all set up ahead of time. You should have your radial menu set up to craft that particular ammo up, ahead of time. You're gonna make sure you have that. I like to bring an armor skin. I like to bring a demon drug, and I drink those after I've died, and then I get my max health. If I can eat at the camp, I eat, and then yeah, I'm really pumped up at that point, and it's very hard for Vaal Hazak to finish me off on the 3rd life, and that's what allows me to solo him pretty consistently. So that's been really effective for me, and I hope it worked for you guys as well. Do I have any combat tips for fighting Vaal Hazak? If I didn't already say this earlier in the commentary, just stay out of his DOT cloud, right? Your randoms won't do this, but you can do it. You can get away from the DOT cloud, and it makes a huge difference. Just keep leading him away from it. When he's getting ready to use his arc beam, you're just gonna have to run up to his face and then run away again. If you end up getting him all the way down to the teeth, make sure you land both teeth on him, and just take your time. It's not a race. If you're a speedrunner, it's a race, obviously, but if you're just trying to get his armor set, take your time, get your Wyvern Blast down. Always have at least 1 Wyvern Blast down. Don't let me explain it like this. Don't let your Wyvern Blast sit at 3 at full. If it's at 3, go ahead and just put 1 on the ground and hope he runs into it. So that is always recharging. That way you're being as efficient as possible. And for the Devil's Madness Sticky Ammo level 3 build, just be extra careful with that. When you're shooting it, it has this very high recoil animation, and the animation can actually be punished because it takes so long. So just take a little extra time to make sure you're safe when you're shooting it. It's actually one of the easiest ammo types to use because you can shoot him anywhere on his body, and you KO him like 3 or 4 times, whereas the slice ammo, I think you KO him about twice just because of the part breaking. And just because of the decent damage. So they have their differences. I think that the slice ammo build might be a little better for solo, whereas the Devil's Madness is going to be a lot better for multiplayer if you have a priority. And the Tear at the Blitz shot, I suspect, has the highest potential for speedrunning. I think that you just deal more damage as long as you're very accurate with the Tear at the Blitz shot. Alright, well that is everything for this video. I hope you guys found this informative. I hope you guys found some of the footage informative. Leave me some feedback. Do you guys want to see me do this for the heavy bowguns, or do you think I should move on to working on my next weapon guide? Let me know. I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.